Alright guys, welcome back to another Planetside 2 mission walkthrough. Today we're going to be looking at damage control. This is the engineer class mission, alright? And again, we have two focuses, kind of same as last video. We're going to look at the most reliable way to do this mission with minimal investment. So if you just want to knock it out, collect your bonus check, go play another class, it's a good video for you. Secondly, if you do want to play a lot of engineer, I'm going to call out a few different places where you could optionally invest more money and have some different play styles or really just be more effective as the class even outside of this mission. All right. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's take a nice, good, hard look at what it really means to play engineer, and let's see if we can't get inside his head a little bit. First lesson of playing as the engineer. You solve practical problems. So, let's talk about the resupply objective. How are you going to get all these bullets to all those players out there? And the answer, use the human funnels. All right, I said this in the last video. Doorways are funnels for humans. So you're going to throw your resupply back down in the middle of a doorway, and everyone is going to, nice and orderly, fall in through the doorway to walk over your resupply pack. This means you don't need to really buy the upgrades for it because, I mean, the upgrades really only do two things. They give it a slightly larger resupply range and they make it last longer, but you're constantly throwing them down and you're funneling people into it anyway. So yeah, no certs needed. I mean, if you play engineer and you want to cert into this just to round everything out, by all means, have at it, but it certainly wouldn't be the first thing I'd look into. If I'm just trying to knock this mission out, I wouldn't even think about it. Other than that, the only other thing that kind of helps me out when I do these missions is to play in a semi-coordinated squad. It's really nice. Everyone's kind of in the same room. You know where everyone is. And again, if you're semi-coordinated, you're generally one of the few engineers there. You can call out resupply packs. They'll ask for it. It works well. Second objective, and this one's really the meat of the engineer. The other two I typically knock out pretty easily. This one takes me a lot longer. You're going to need to get 10 kills. Now this is down from the 15 kills you need on the assault classes, but you do need to figure out how to get these 10 kills. Before I was going to make this video, I actually pulled up Google and I was going to do some research to see if anyone had any really creative exotic ideas that I hadn't really considered. But as you can see, it's all pretty straightforward stuff you've heard before, so I'm kind of gonna breeze through this pretty quickly. The answer is to use a gun. So grab your primary weapon, make sure you've got some attachments for it, right? If you're a really new player and you don't have anything, typically recommend a 1 or 2 times optic and a laser pointer. The hipfire accuracy from the laser pointer is fantastic, and the optic will complement it quite nicely, and honestly, anything is better than iron sights, unless you're NSO. They have awesome iron sights. Yeah, this is literally the first thing I started to on new characters. Other than that, just aim for the head. Should be able to knock out a couple kills with that, but if that doesn't work, you're going to need to use more gun. And this is where the engineer's turret comes into play. Now, obviously, don't just set this thing up in the open and shoot at groups of people. I mean, you could probably make that work if it's a really big Zerg, but more ideally, you're going to want to find a hold that only has 1 or 2 sight lines, and then you're going to throw your turret down and own those 1 or 2 sight lines. Whatever you do, don't get off of your turret, right? If you hear people pushing downstairs, let the non-engineers get those. Stay on your turret and own those sight lines. Now, for more ideas that complement using even more gun, I would highly recommend the secondary hard light barrier. It's a little bit hard to find, but you could find it over here. Basically, this gives you an extra deployable. Once you know the 2 sight lines you're going to be holding, you could throw this thing up and either completely block one of them off, or more commonly, you could force people to jump over the barricade in order to like enter the room and actually start to engage with you, which is fantastic because the entire time they're jumping over it, you're just pumping them full of lead. Phenomenal. Amazing deployable. Overall, the general strat with the engineer is mostly just shield play and vehicle play. So the advanced shield capacitor actually complements this class pretty well, and any of the vehicle-based implants work really nicely too. Keep in mind your turret is a vehicle. You had to hit E to get on it, so you'll actually get those implant bonuses on the turret. Lastly, if you do get stuck on just those last couple kills, you can usually scrape a couple of kills pretty easily if there's a contested base with a shield generator on it, all right? Doesn't matter who's contesting it. If you are playing offense, you're gonna run in, pop the generator, and then kind of camp outside the room. You don't really want to engage people before they run into the room. You're gonna want to follow them into the room and ambush them as they're repairing the generator. On the flip side, if you are the defender, you just start off outside, and when someone runs in to pop the generator, you follow them in and ambush them while they're sabotaging the generator. Both work pretty well, and note how both put you on the defensive side of things, right? That's really the key of this class, is you can be in an offensive push, but you need to find those defensive battles, and those are the fights that you're going to pick. Pass up on most of the pure offense capability. The third and final objective is the repair objective. Now, I typically can knock this one out opportunistically just by repairing anything that walks even remotely near me as I'm doing the other objectives, but if you do complete the other two and this one hasn't just magically sorted itself out, the answer is to not use more gun. Who am I fucking kidding? No, of course the answer is to use more gun. We're actually gonna go find a base. Those are BFGs, right? The really big fucking guns. You know, the ones that shoot at, like, aircrafted vehicles and stuff, all right? Go find a base with those things. There's always one or two that are broken, so spawn in. You're probably the only one on the map tile, and go find 2 broken guns and just repair them, and that's it. Good job. You knocked this one out. Yeah, pretty straightforward. Don't sweat it. And yeah, with that, you should be able to knock this mission out pretty easily. I think we've all gotten a little bit more in touch with our inner engineer. And anytime you get stuck, just think, what would this sexy hunk of a man do? I mean, this is peak engineer right here, all right? Honestly, I think anyone who plays this class is really just on a journey to be as good as he used to be. Just think about that. Carry it with you as you play. But yeah, that's all I got for today. So if you want to see some more Planetside from me before I post the next video, follow me on Twitch. I actually occasionally, rarely, maybe stream this game now. So you know, hit follow and you'll be notified when and if I hop on to stream this. So you know, that's pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it. So hope you guys have a great day. And if it's Friday, have a great weekend. Catch you guys in the next one.